Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Friends, today I am going to discuss about SIP trunking. What is SIP trunking and why we need SIP trunking, how it works, and what are the various types of SIP trunking possible. Friends, let's start today's topic. Before starting this, I just here is my channel, and I have uploaded few more videos related to C web and RTP. I suggest to check all these videos first before starting this video. This will give you a clear understanding how SIP works and how why the SIP trunking and how to do the SIP trunking. So let's first understand what are the various types of SIP trunking and why we need SIP trunking. SIP trunk is basically get a trunk from the provider. So if you want to use your DEX phone or soft phones to call in mobile number, you need a SIP trunk from the provider. So this SIP trunk is connected to your SBC. So there are two types possibly. One is private SIP trunk, another is public SIP trunk. Now, if you go through a diagram how the SIP trunking is done, so basically here you will see your provider like PSTN or web provider or any third party provider who are uh, connected to provider real providers can provide you a SIP trunk. So basically, these are telecom providers or third party who has connectivity with the telecom. They can provide you a SIP trunk to connect your IP PBX. PBX is basically your SBC, and where your phones are connected, or you can host your application here for inbound for receiving inbound call from the mobile numbers or any other numbers through some real numbers. So if you want to dial out to some mobile number or any other DIDs, what your phone can call to PBX and PBX can forward this call to your mobile number. So to do all these things, you need a connectivity with the provider, telecom provider. So that telecom provider provides a SIP trunk. So basically, there are two types of SIP trunks possible. One is private SIP trunk and another is public SIP trunk. So basically public SIP trunks like public IP based SIP trunking where your integrator provides you a connectivity over public IP through an internet connectivity. So in US, Singapore, these places, this kind of public connectivity is possible. But there are countries where public connectivity is not possible. So here you get a private connection where you can terminate your connection over a VPN or you can get a private trunk cable from your provider. In India or neighboring countries where public SIP trunking is not possible, there they provide a SIP trunk to your connect your IP PBX or SBC LAN card. Actually, they provide a provide a SIP trunk cable to your data center or wherever your premise, and that is connecting to your SBC. So these are then they provide a private IP to connect to their provider network. So this is how they provide the private SIP trunking. So that is basically over private or VLAN connectivity, which you do through the private link. So this is private, and another is over the public IP, public internet. They provides a connectivity to your SBC. So these are two different kinds of SIP trunking possible. So both the cases you have your SBC here, which will connect to your provider over public IP or private IP. So these are two basic SIP trunking possible. So let's see what are the various kinds of authentication that possible in SIP trunk. So basically, when you get a SIP trunk from your provider, be it on over public IP or be it over private IP, there are three possible cases are there, where your provider you allow IP based authentication or registration based authentication or proxy authentication. So this is very simple authentication where your provider allows your IP or they provide a specific when there is a private SIP trunking from the operators like India, they provide some VLAN IP to your SBC. So SBC configure that VLAN IP and they can communicate with the SBC provider SBC. So this is one kind of IP authentication. Another like if your provider is over private or public IP, they whitelist your IP to allow the traffic from your private network. So these are two kinds of authentication, IP authentication possible, and registration based authentication where the provider will provide you some username and password and you have to register your SBC here will act like a basically act like a client. So it will register to the private their SBC provider SBC and then SBC will allow inbound and outbound calls through that SBC. So from which IP you will register, they will forward inbound calls to this IP and port. And similarly, when you make the outbound call through that provider, they will allow the traffic as it's a registered service. So another is proxy authentication based service. So let's discuss all this. So here is a typical diagram of a IP authentication where this is your SBC and your phones are connected to this SBC and think it like a provider where you send an invite. Whenever you send an invite, this provider will allow this invite only when this IP is whitelisted. So this is just a normal safe flow, but this IP need to be allowed on the provider side. So this is IP authentication based calling they will allow. So rest of the flows are like normal safe flows. So here is a registration based authentication where here is your SBC and here is your provider. So first you have to register your SBC with the provider with some username and password they will provide. So it will be basically digest authentication most of the cases. So once you register then you can dial invite, else if your registration fails they will not allow to dial your send your invite or inbound calls they will not allow. So this is another kind of registration based calling that provider allows. Another is proxy authentication based calling. So here your IP might be whitelisted. They will ask for your IP to be whitelisted. So these are basically happens when in the public network where you want to make an outbound call, but to make an outbound call they will provide you a proxy authentication challenge. So that proxy authentication challenge basically operator will provide you the username and password, and when you are trying to make an outbound call they will ask for proxy authentication. Then you have to send the proxy authentication with authorized header with the username and password, then only they will allow you to dial out a call. So this is another kind of authentication which is required for dialing out. This is proxy authentication. So these are three kinds of authentication. IP authentication is the simplest way of doing the authentication where your provider will allow be checking the IP whether it's whitelisted or not. So friends, these are three various kinds of authentication mechanism that is used by the operator, or if it is public network or be it private network. So this is how they allow the calling through their provider to any mobile number or any other numbers. Okay, friends, this is all about SIP trunking and authentication types. So here I have uploaded few more videos related to other topics like CP and SMPP, then WebRTC. If you are interested, you can view all these videos as well. So friends, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So if I'll upload more videos, new videos, you will be able to view these videos here. You will get a notification here. So friends, thanks for watching my video.